Okay, everybody, and I wanted to do a little bit of a video on some of the features and how stuff works in the game because a few people might be a little bit confused. So your middle mouse button can zoom you all the way in, right? And if you hold it down, you can do this. You can turn all the way around, okay? Now, I like to keep it in one angle so that, I don't, whatever. But that's a feature that's really cool because then you can find some secret little hiding places. And sometimes when you come to a cave, there might just be a little sliver that you see is like a really bright blue. But if you turn a bit more, it gets bigger and you can see it. So you can get into places, right? Now, this is your one of the other features is this little button here. Okay, you'll see turns the map on, makes it bigger, right? I like it big so that I can see that, right? And I'm at 2K, so another feature that you can get is in here in the options menu. Where is it? Where's the scaling? Yeah, right here. You can swing this either way, and what it will do is it will increase the size or decrease the size of this, and also it will increase and decrease the size of this. Now you got to be careful of that because at sometimes when you like say go like this, you have this skinny menu here with the thing, but sometimes it's a bigger menu, and if you make the screen too big, it'll be cut off. Okay, this is sort of little tips, right?
Iron well spent.
This is your rift travel, so when you're going around, you can click that, and it'll, oh, look at this, I can go over to here, and then you go do that, and guess where I'm going to be? Ah, wee! And you can use that to rift around in the game so that you can fast travel, more or less, right? Achievements, go through all these. I've got tons of them. Some that only 0.3% of the player base has ever got. This is your character window, right? And this is where when you go up a level, it'll give you a chance to give you a point with this particular mod in here, right? And then you have all your little stats for all the stat monkeys, right? So you can see things. And then you got more stats, right? Lots of stats. And this is how you can gauge how you're building, how effective it is. Because if you add fire and you're not shooting any fire, well, like a bonus to fire, I mean, and you're not shooting any fire, that's really a waste, right? And this will tell you chances to block, your chances to run around, and retaliation stuff, right? It's even got stuff for your pets. It'll tell you the biggest monster you've attacked, right? Okay. Now, one of the other lads had commented, what's devotion points about? Well, you click here, and this is where your skills are. For the first class you have would be here, and then the second class will be over here. So you get to combine these to make a new class, and that's where you get the name here. This is the Abyssalist, right? Now, when you go back here, there's this thing called devotion. When you click on it, you get this screen, and you can zoom out, and you see all these different powers, but some of them are highlighted and some of them aren't. Well, this is because they're all color coded. Like if I go like this, see how that goes, right? And if you move in a bit and you mouse over, it says, well, I need 5 purple and 5 green. Well, I don't have that. So you gotta take something, and it says completion bonus, right? 3 purple and 3 blue. So what you try and do is you try and find something like that, 3 and 3, right? Well, okay, that'll get you the green, because you'd have 6 green and 3 whatever. So then you might come over here and go, well, I could do one of those, or I could look for a purple. Where's purple, right? Hold on, like that. See? So I could come over here and do that, right? And you put points all the way across in here, and as you do that, you get these bonuses, and they make a huge difference to your class. Okay, like right here, right? I got this power that when I shoot the gun, that little blue glowy thing, all right, this also activates, and these powers have levels, and they level on use, right? And that's something to remember. It says 15% on attack. So every 6 attacks, roughly, I'll use it once. And then this damage and chance to confuse. So the target will go, for a second, right? And it sits there for 3 seconds, right? Now, not bad, right? Do more with it, And where do you get those? Well, okay. I'll show you. What I will do, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make it easy for you to just learn this. We'll talk about this guy in a bit. Reset everything.
No problem, man.
And then you walk out of the game. Alright, go back in here. And what that does, by the way, is you can set how many monsters you fight. Regular monsters, not the bosses or the ones that are tougher with the stars, okay? You can also do that with another tweak in there, and then you can really have a big fight. That's where you're setting the difficulty settings. But anyway, the easiest way to show you is just to show you what one of the shrines looks like. So you go up in here. We'll just get rid of these guys. Should be easy. Not many of them. I have an area of effect, so if something just stands there 12 meters away from me, it gets killed. Woohoo! And you go into the cave. And I'll show you. See over here? That's a shrine. Okay? And what you do is you click on it and it'll want something from you with this mod, right? Like a aether crystal or something. And once you click start, you fight some monsters, and once you beat them, you get some loot and a devotion point. And the devotion point you can then use for that little area. Good way to get loot. Just keep coming back in here and you get these things. Come on, pick it up, pick it up. Anyway, you would go over here. You click on this, and this one's already been restored. So it'll tell you when you do that. And you can get a maximum of 55 of those, and it's hard-coded into the game now, where it used to be that it wasn't. And before, when this mod was really crazy, instead of there's another type of shrine that's just out in the wilds that's not a shrine, it's just a loot thing that has tougher monsters. It used to drop the tokens, but now it has a 50-50 chance of doing that and or giving you, say, equipment, right? And we used to just go nuts on this thing, and my lord, you'd have this whole screen full of loot. And I had another roommate who was really heavily into gaming, and he used to laugh because he could about every 10 minutes he'd hear the game complain that I was out of inventory space. And just to give you an idea, think about it. Imagine being out of inventory space after 10 or 15 minutes with that much crap. It just was great. And the other problem with that, and the reason why it's not like that now, is because lesser PCs had a problem handling all that and would crash. I've had two different PCs. One had a 1 gigabyte card, one had a 6 gigabyte 1660 Super, and even that 1660 Super had you couldn't do the max setting on the difficulty, where this one can, and this is a 3070, right? Nowadays, that's sort of everybody should move up to something like that, because you'll really enjoy your gaming. It just opens you to all the games, and you have a nicer looking experience. That's all I gotta say. It would be nice to have more VRAM because developing, like, 16 gigabytes or whatever, and more RAM. I need to push this system up to 32 gigabytes of DDR5. But other than that, that's the only thing this machine needs. I mean, it compiles shaders literally 200 times faster than a PC was 11 years old. Like it would take hours. I would set it up and go away for like 5 or 6 hours, where something now it only takes 20, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, you know. So I just want to do a quick video on that. This is to help you. It's like a potion thing for this. We don't get potions anymore. That was something they took out. We used to get tons of potions in the inventory, and I could just sit there with a AOE power and right click on potions constantly and just murder everything. But I guess that's gone now. It's taking away all the fun. And so, and it's timed. It'll go around. See, and that's something that makes you die a little bit more often. I'm out of healing. Run. Yep, died. So. Oh, one other thing to show you is if you want to experiment with the points and move them around a little, like I was talking about in the previous video, where I might play with powers. Like right now I've got this power, which is kind of cool. Imagine all those giant massive amounts of mobs running through that getting hurt. But you go over to this lady in the corner, Sadina, the spirit guide.
Let me clear your mind.
And every time you click on something, you remove a point. My skills add +1, right? So
stay strong.
You go back in and go, oh, there we go. And because it says this is a buff, it's automatically activated. In previous versions of this game, it was called a toggle. You had to physically put it across the bar here and then click it, and then it would stay on. But it required a certain amount of energy use. Now they don't do that, which in a way makes adding to spirit kind of less effective. But remember, spirit does your magic more damage, right? And that's like here it says bonus duration damage, magical damage, right? Energy, right? You will need a certain amount of energy, because instead what they do is they take a reserve of energy off of there. So let's say this is my maximum and this much is being taken. See, it says there reserve, 350 reserve. You can right click in here and you can set up different powers that you want to use or whatever, right? What I'd like to see in a developer of hardware is have a mouse where I have 2 middle mouse buttons, right? Okay. Or something to that effect, like a mouse button, like the mouse button and a wheel and a button above and below it, or maybe above it, right? So you could click that and have it like then be a third, whatever. See, like there's this. See, you can't do a weapon swap here. I don't have a second set. But anyway, that's another thing. If you go over here and click this, you could set yourself up with a different set of equipment. I mean, that's a lot of effort considering how little you're ever going to need that. It just depends on the area, and if you're in an area full of chaos, you might want to put some gear on that gives you resistances versus chaos, right? Like the area I'm going into has a lot of piercing weaponry shooting at me, which usually I want to have this up higher, right? But I'll survive anyway. And after you go and do all the quests up and kill the warden, right? This guy will appear, right? And then you can go over, right? And click on him.
We speak at last.
And you go over to, that's for the Forgotten Realms expansion. And one of the neat things there is you can take your other character classes who are max level over there, set up, what is it, the 2.5 million in credits of whatever, and they give these little bars, and then you just put it into the shared inventory, which that's another thing we'll discuss right now. I'll show you that. You'd be going, well, what do you mean shared inventory? Well, each character class has its own inventory, which makes sense, right? Just like any other game. That's this here. But if you click on this button, right, this all goes purple. This is what every single character class that I have ever made has access to. So I put everything here. I put all this in here because, well, why wouldn't I? Because then I can just drag it back out here. And the neat aspect of that is, if you're building something, okay,
I'll keep an eye out.
and you have the smith there, this guy, it will access that.
Got
Okay?
something you need stashed.
This is something that a lot of games won't do. If it's in the shared inventory, you got to take it out, put it in your inventory, and then you can build something with it. Well, you don't have to do that with this. And look at all the inventory space. I mean, it's insane. Like, I like Path of Exile a little bit, but what I extremely hate is having like this much inventory space and then having to pay and pay and pay and pay to have it. Every game does this shit where they overdo it, right? They take that bloody fun right out of it, and it's just not something I'm into. Accidentally move stuff in there. And that's the thing, right? When you go like this, I can click on this button, move components from the inventory into the stash. Now watch what happens. Plunk, right? I can just move all this garbage down here, and we'll sell it. We don't need it. Things like this, we'll keep it in there. Come on, you, move over there. There. Now these things were something that also came from some loot as well, and I'll show you. I have hundreds of them. You don't get these anymore except for the very first little spot in the mod, and it's a specific gear that comes out of that that'll give you this little toy and whatnot. Now I'm at level 25, so let's see here. We'll just scroll through here and look and see something. Elemental damage. And what you do is you go like this and go over your shadow bolt. It's doing aether. Aether. Aether or a buff. Aether or a buff. That's not too bad. Can't get that. No. What's this do? And you hit the control key, it'll expand this. So in a 5-meter area, it'll toss out lightning bolts or something. What's it doing here? Okay. Kind of like that. You want to attack me, do you? Come get some.
I'll keep an eye on this.
And that just appeared. Static field. Toggle. It's not really toggleable. I got a lot of AoE on this character because of the storm guy, which is one of the most powerful things about that class. Is it's just so much AoE. It's just woohoo. Anyway, oh yeah. What else could I show you? As far as crafting goes, okay.
What brings you to my forge?
You can start out with just when you're playing the game regular without the mod. You come to Engram, and when you get these little, it looks like little scroll, and you right click it, and he learns to make things for you, right? Different armor and whatever, right? And it'll tell you in here if you have enough equipment or items to make it. And as you see, I don't have any of these components in any of my inventory. That's because it's in my shared inventory. And thus, this is how I learned that that's what you do. You put it into your shared inventory, and why would you put it anywhere else? I see guys putting it in their big inventory. I see them putting it into the character's inventory. I'm going, why are you doing that? Like, I mean, then you got to move all that crap back into your regular inventory, put it into shared, give it to a guy, put it, like, what are you doing that? You know, you're wasting time and space doing that, right? And as you go along, you'll get more and more different stuff and different equipment. And one of the things you can do, if you don't want belts, you just click the little sign here, right? And this will, right? Now, the other thing you can do, after you go up that same right-hand side and kill the warden, and you get access
I'll give you a good price on what I've got
to
left.
all this stuff, okay? Now, Storm is a Titan quest class, right? And Maleficar or whatever is a Cataclysm class. So he's not going to have any gear, like equipment, down here, except weapons that he can get. And I'll show you what I'm talking about again. That was a little part that is way different than any other thing, and it needs to be discussed in a video like this. You see no equipment, right? And then you see this, right? Well, you can go like this, and instead of using 4 or 6, depending on whether it's regular, empowered, or divine kind of power, it just uses 1, right? Like I went through a ton to do this right here, right? So you can go like this and go, oh, and see it's level 30, right? Okay, and it's still doing less damage, right? Now you don't see much in the way of handguns this way, I don't think, but you can go along and do that, and it whatever. But you get the Storm Shadow equipment for your character. Okay, so you would go like this, and then you would go, ooh, neat. Okay.
Got any more scrap metal?
Now look at all the accessories for rings and everything else. And a little tip, okay, I'm level 26. One of the neat things about this game is its search engine. You go level, space, 2. So everything level 20 will show up, okay? Because some things might be 21, 22, 20, and you can go through this, right? And this is where you begin to pick up into the blue areas, right? Like, we're going to be doing a bit of lightning here, so, and I'm using the squall, so thunderball's no good. So this is not too bad. So I go like this, right? And I take this over here. Now you notice that this has a Stone of Night on it, okay?
Don't get killed out
This
there.
is another thing I'll teach you to do, okay? Every item can have a component put on it, and then
Safe storage, no questions asked.
what are they called? One of these things. An augment, yeah. So you go back in here and you type. What have I got on here? Have I got the Malpicor ones? I'm gonna flip that to Storm, just because. Why not? Alright, so you type Storm in, and then you start mousing over things, and you look for where it says +1 to Storm. Nope. There it is. So then, I go like this. And what's going to happen is, it's going to replace the +1 to Malpicor to +1 to Storm. Now, the main gun power is doing just a hair less damage, but
I'll keep an eye on this.
those AoE powers now, okay, on Storm, right, the Squall is now doing a lot more damage. This is doing more damage in the area effect. Same with this. And same with this. So I've got 4 things going on, right? And it took a little bit off here, right? Right. Now I gotta put 1 point into that for whatever, right? And that's a way to kind of sort of do things, right? And the reason is that thing gives me the Storm Nimbus buff. And that's why I like that. If you go back in here and you mouse over it, it's got a, right? Rune of Storms, right? All that extra damage. Woohoo. Comes in handy, trust me. Now another thing that I don't really use or get into much, but you could experiment
Got
with,
something you need stashed?
is using these things, right? Converting fire damage to acid. Say you have an item and it does fire damage, but you need it to do acid damage. Well, you right click on this and it converts it in a little bit, right? These powers, they've redone how they work, and you literally lost a whole bunch of things that were toggleable, and now only a few things are like buffs, which are on, but they add powers. It's like making your own item, right? But they take the place of a component now, right? So while they can do lots of powers, blah 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 blah. Now the main thing that I did in the last build was using that rune thing, which was just
Got any more scrap metal?
crazy epic. And that was down in over here, I think. Was it down here? Yeah. And that was one of these. So do we? What's this? 33. That's right. So the first of them is level 33. Where was that? Right there. I don't see any more that are. Yeah. So what does this do? Well, look at the damage it does, and then you get a really crazy, you know, movement speed. But it's granted to the item, which means it's a power that you have to have in your right click or on a button thing. And while, you know, a lot of us could be sitting there on the keyboard with our fingers on 1, 2, and 3, I like to sit back and enjoy my game and just, you know, right click or whatever. And so a lot of my builds are like that. Okay. Now, mind you, the person who wants to max things out might put a point into a couple more skills across the board, and then you're really, you know, you can do things. If you hit 1, it gives you 10 seconds for this, and then for you know, you run, do this. Wow, it gets so whoa, you know. It depends on your play style, right? But yeah. So when you go the leveling and so, and this is how I do things. I mean, it takes a lot of time, guys, like to go through and go, oh geez, which item am I going to use here? And this is what goes in here, and this is what the basic ones are. And when
If you find any blueprints,
when you want
bring them
something
back in.
specific for your class, right? There's this thing, which is this guy here. You go over here,
Got any more scrap metal?
and there's a whole bunch more of them, right? And if it says 0 there, it'll say, well, what am I missing here? Ancient Heart. I don't have any here. So here's what I haven't done for this character. I haven't moved over all the extra stuff that was in here to my shared inventory and then move it back in here. I just brought these in and a few of these, and that's like, you know, lots of money, which I could go and get and then have, right? But you can see that if you go level 2, right? These are the ones, right? They're specific to Grim Quest. Okay? And once you get to level 35, I think it is, but you can just type in 3. Alright, you can go like that, and then slowly they start to give you some more powers. And what I like to do when I'm doing this is I look at things that will give me a buff of some kind, right? Or a +1 or whatever.
Bring me
At this
back any
level,
blueprints you
I think
find.
it's this level or next level. Let me see something here. This Diablo, the reason I take this is because there's, and you'll see the habit of me taking all these +1
What
to
brings you
skills,
to
right?
my forge?
Because this Diablo thing has, it's just crazy for, oh, wrong one.
Bring me back any blueprints you
For
find.
things giving you a +1 to this or that. I think it's in the epic. Yeah. There we are. Where are the rings? So the amulet's 21, right? So you go like this, take that amulet, there's +1 to all those other skills. You just look for something that says, there, 2 rings. That's level 60. Let's go level 20 here. There we are. There's another amulet. See, and this is how you can gauge which amulet to take. I guess maybe level 30. What's that? Oh, there's another amulet. Yeah, so it's level 35. So I'll go, and I just put these over here. Alright, so when I reach level 35, there's 2 more skill points to things, which means doing way more powers, right? And because these are lightning damage, that actually will add to the storm stuff. So, I can go like this. Woohoo, look at that. Another 300 points in damage. And, let's see here. Then you come up here and... Go, go, go. He's so slow at this point.
Got something you need stashed.
Amulets. Alright. And these are all the things that you can put on amulets. And yes, you can put these powers on amulets. I don't think I have anything low level to do that with. On attack. 1500 elemental damage. That's kind of fun. I wonder how that would work with a gun. I don't know. Vitality decay. What's this doing? So vitality decay is 772. Where was that? That's not bad. Sometimes you want to look for resistances as well. You want that area of effect stuff doing lots of damage. You take one of these and you right click and you put it into there. See, Squall's now doing more. Alright, we're getting there. And that's basically how you kind of slowly gear up and
It's safe with me,
plan
promise.
for your building. Like another guy asked me about some build planner, and I think there's that's like an app that you use to show how you go about doing things. I don't use that. If that's what he's talking about, I don't do that. I like to know as much as I can about the game and different items and stuff, right, to do that with. And another feature of this game that's amazing is every time you pick up an item in the field and then
Perfectly safe illusions.
sell it
For a price.
salvage it, it shows up into this area, right? I've got this many skins for headgear, right? For my offhands, I've got that many for that. For guns, I've got this many. So you can make yourself look cool while you're doing it all. Like 3 pages of headgear. I got all the. I can even look like a monster if I wanted. Right. That's funny. All that. All that. All that. All that. Right? So, and it just costs you a little bit of iron bits. Right? And then if you want to remove it, you go to this guy over here and he'll remove the illusions, as they call them. Let's see. One of the things that will lag your game is having all that loot appear in your game, right? So you click this button, and this is the white common that is worth nothing, okay? You'll be lucky to get a gold piece, no matter what it is. This you'll probably get 1 to 5 or something, so it too is useless, right? It's only in the very early part of the game that you keep this one on. After that, you just stick to the green, and eventually I'll get rid of this too, right? Because, well, I don't need it, right? In a way, I don't need it now because I've got all that extra loot from the other character classes, and I can, you know, just bring in stuff that I want and make blue things, epic and legendary, as I get access to it. At level 27, you go back to the other class again, and you can get that helmet that's +1 to all skills. The thing
Got
is,
something you need stashed?
one of the good things about this set is your resistances. They are extremely high considering how low level they are, right? Like, wow, you know, like, woo. And these green components, the polished emeralds, I only put them on at the very beginning, and then when I get the ability to salvage, you come
I'll
over
keep an eye
here.
on
If you
this.
want to take that off and put something different on, I'll show you. Which will enhance you some more. You come over here, go over to the girl. After you rescue her, she says thank you. Then you click on her
Let's
again,
take a look, shall
and there's
we?
a thing called salvage. Okay, you don't want to dismantle it for parts. You just drag this over here, keep item, put it back. Same here, keep item, put it back, because those green things are level 1 objects. Alright, put that back,
Goodbye for now.
run over here, back to your component thing. This is just showing you things that I do off camera that, you know, people
Got something
don't
you need
show
stashed.
you how to do this stuff, which once you see how it's done, you go, hey, that's kind of neat. So I got a helmet here, also known as the head. Okay, you can put this item in here, ether and poison resistance. What are we at? Could use some of that, right? Some more elemental resistance, damage to ethereals and corruptions. We're going into an area where we don't have that much to face for that, so not really worried, right? Pierce damage and bleeding. Well, we don't do much of that, right? What we're doing here is aether and vitality damage. Now in Diablo 2 you had these runes, right? So you scroll back till you don't see one of these little X's, and you start going back until you see aether, or what was it again? Aether or vitality damage. Okay. Even the lightning damage would be good. Let's see. Do I have anything for that in there? Probably not. Okay. So then you can come down to these items. Alright. Control, fire. See, there's vitality resistance. There's a lot of resistances. That's nice. No. So, what was the one that had lightning? Might be the one to take here. Okay, so you right click, put it on the head. Oh, things went up a little, tiny bit. Okay, and then you click the X and type chest. And these are the things that can go in the chest. Some things are X'd out because you're not high enough level. Alright, now let's see, what is our piercing? I'm gonna go over here to this. This is what I'll do. I'll do that. I'll do that. And I'll do that. Bingo. At least for now. And you type boot. And should get this. That'll increase your movement speed and healing. Also, at level 25, you get access to this thing. And every single character class I ever take, I always do that.
It's safe with me. Promise.
Alright, now, go in
Got any
here.
more scrap metal?
Wrong one.
Bring me back any blueprints you find.
Cataclysm? No, we don't want that. Might be belts?
Got any more scrap metal?
Not that one.
Don't get killed out there.
Oops,
Got any
wrong
more
one
scrap
again.
metal?
Let's see.
Got any more scrap metal?
So you got belts. It's level 30.
Bring me back any blueprints you find.
So level 2, we got two things we can take. Aether and Elemental. Yeah, it's looking like it. What's this do? Cunning, that's pretty good right now. That'll be good for a while, for a couple of levels. Let's check out our, oh, two-handed only, eh?
What brings you to my forge?
This is all stabs. Okay, so can't do nothing there.
Don't get killed out there.
Okay. Just to give you a little test. I want to go kill the guy over here. Okay, and you need scrap for that. And scrap is this stuff. Right? I got tons of that. Alright. See, I do that and then lure them in. There, just finished the first quest of the area. And by right clicking, I killed things real quick. Alright? Anyway. So I wanted to make that video, and that's to help you understand a little bit about the game, right? How things work, right? But boom. Right? And especially the devotion points, because a lot of people get confused on that, right? What should I do here? What should I do here? Well, I was on Aether and Vitality, so I see Aether damage there. Oh, okay. Go all the way up here, and now I got that. And damage bonuses to that will affect this as well, right? Which is kind of cool. Like you can type Aether, and then you get a excuse me. Oh. Oh boy. And you can see Aether damage again and lightning, Aether damage again and lightning, Aether damage and lightning, and then you go up here and you want to try and get this one because this has a lot of lightning in it. But wow, Aether damage, resistance, see. So this is how you kind of plan what to do with your points, and you try to, okay, how many points am I going to need there? Well, I don't have any purple, right? So what's a quick little purple thing that I can do over here to give myself 3 purple, right? Right? Nothing. Oh, wait, let's scroll down here. Anything purple here that will give me 3? This one. Right? Elemental, and elemental is fire, cold, and lightning. So This actually benefits me as I go up the tree. Plus I get some aether resistance out of that. So it'll take 4 points though. But once you get that, it unlocks 3 points. It'll unlock that here. Or wait a minute, what was I looking at? This one here. Alright? Or no. What was it? What was it, the one I needed 3, is it this thing? 3 and... what was it I looking at? I was looking at something there where I needed 3 purple. But that's how you do it, right? This will give you 3 purple and 3. So if I just did this one, right, with a point, right, and did that and that and that, I would then end up with 3, right? And what's this require you to have, right? Just to start it, you need to have 3 more. What is that? That's kind of a yellowish green, right? So you'd have to go down here and look around and see what would give me 3 yellowish green ones, and how to help yourself with that is just to look like this. No, no, no. And if you don't see any, right? Well, there's 5 right there. Right? Again, coming over to here is a good thing. Doing this one opens it up. So, coming there helps you out. Now a little off track there. But then that would open up this one. Alright? And then when you complete that, it gives you 3 more blue. So I would have 3 and 3, 6. I'd have 10 blue and 6 yellow. Right? Well, this one here, you need to have some red and that little dot thing. Right? And more blue. Right? What you'd probably end up doing is probably this one over here, because it goes lightning, 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 some offense and defense, then electrocute, speed, and then you get a power, which I could put it on the squall. Shooting lightning bolts out of that thing. I mean, you can get some really neat effects out of this stuff if you ever muck around enough. It'd look kind of neat. I'll be interested to see they're claiming that the new expansion, when it does come out, will add another mastery class, which is the main. This is a mastery class, right? And to the base game, right? So that'll be neat. Anyway, I just thought I'd make that little bits of how-to.